Well, some historic times right now over in Cuba. Massive protests are continuing as people there are demanding freedom from the communist regime.
And Fox 26 anchor Rashi Vats is giving us some more insight into why this is happening and how this is impacting people locally. Hi, Rashi.
Hi there. So there are thousands of Cubans that call Houston home. And tonight, the people living on the island 90 miles away from the U.S. have their internet now cut off by the government officials there. And their reason, because the people there are speaking up.
Taking over the streets of Cuba in droves, risking their lives, thousands on the island are rising up against the communist regime that has oppressed them for more than 60 years.
I was just waiting for that moment a long time ago. I was born with the Cuban Revolution. I'm 62 years old, and so in Cuba, it seemed that it was impossible. My first reaction is that, finally, the Cuban people is waking up, is racing and taking the street. That is wonderful. It's one of the most exciting experiences I have experienced in my life.
Heriberto de la Fe calls Houston home now, but his heart, he says, has always been on the island. It's the story countless Cubans who immigrated to the U.S. can tell you. Many quickly gathered over the weekend in Houston, once learning of the courageous efforts by their fellow Cubans overseas.
On short notice, we put out the word and stuff, and we were able to get, I should have a couple thousand people showed up.
Adolfo Rodriguez is the president of nonprofit Casa Cuba Houston. He's in contact with people there and says the situation is getting worse.
Castro administration, they already closed the internet. They're turning electricity off. They're closing the internet, and they can't communicate. My family members are calling me, not knowing what's going on the island. They said, we know what's going on, but we can't communicate.
We are claiming for an intervention, humanitarian or military intervention, because there is too much suffering for Cuban people.
Local Cubans are asking for citizens to do one thing to help.
So what we need to do is notify our politicians and tell them this is not a political thing. This is a human rights thing. People in Cuba are dying. No food, no medicine, no nothing. Lifting the embargo is not the answer. Lifting the embargo is going to do nothing for the Cuban people. It's going to benefit the government. We need to tell the people, the government, they need help, right? Let's help them.
Now, President Joe Biden did express support for the Cuban people, calling on the Cuban government to hear their people and serve their needs.